Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking a look at another figurerise standard model kit review. This is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta, otherwise known as Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, or Gogeta Blue, or Blue Gogeta, whatever takes your fancy. Everyone seems to have a different approach to it. But yeah, I'll say it like right off the bat. I only got this guy, one, because he's cheap, and two, because he comes with a metric truckload of like beam effects. Basically, I was trolling AliExpress, as I tend to do. I came across bootleg figurerise standard effects, like this one specifically, without the sort of lightning effects, and they were a tenner. And I thought, that seems a little bit expensive. So I ended up looking about, and I found this guy unopened on eBay for, what, 25 quid? And I got 4 beam effects and a model kit to build, so I was a happy bunny. But yeah, basically thought I'd give him a review. I know he is very old at this point. He came out in 2018, same year as the Broly movie. So yeah, the older figurerise standard kits, some of them are a bit dated. Unfortunately, this guy is one of them. Kits like the androids, for example, or even Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta aren't as bad. But this guy is just massively out of scale. Like, pretty much every figurerise standard kit that uses these like Goku legs as a base end up being way too tall, even in their own scale. Like, you compare it to like the Vegetas or the androids in that scale, and yeah, they're just really too big, which is a shame, because in terms of how it looks, this kit is actually pretty decent looking. Like, the sort of pearlescent sheen that they put in the plastic for the hair, for the Super Saiyan Blue hair, is really nice. The only bit that really holds it back is the vest. But yeah, let's get a look at the box, shall we? So yeah, it goes without saying, this box is a bit beefy, because I don't know if Bandai decided this was like a special release and just shoved everything plus the kitchen sink into it. Like, the only thing it's missing is a Super Saiyan head, and you can in fact get a version with just Super Saiyan. Unsure whether I'll track that down, probably not. We do have Super Gogetas coming out from third-party companies whenever those arrive, but yeah. Obviously, if I can find a link to like AliExpress or anything like that, it'll be in the description for this guy. I might even put a link to like the bootleg effects if anyone's interested in that. Seeing as how this figure came to be in my collection. Funny how the rabbit hole works, eh? But yeah, we've got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta down the bottom, Bird Studios Shueisha, Bandai Spirits 2018, made in Japan. So yeah, at the time of this recording, this is a 7-year-old kit, which, yeah, it's the figurerise standard line went on for quite a while. It's a shame that it seems to be winding down, especially with the new spec figures that they came out with. That Vegeta was amazing. But yeah, Build the Ultimate Warrior muscle build-up system. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, you could have just made it 2 pieces, but oh well. You have to have gimmicks, I suppose. Nice picture there. This is the older style box, I believe. Older style box, but newer style accessories. But yeah, you can see it is the kit in the render, but they've made it look realistic. It's alright, I suppose. Broly movie there. On the side, we have pictures of everything it can do, plus all the effects that it comes with. Bizarrely, it comes with 4 effects. You've got the Kamehameha charging up, Kamehameha blasting out. This is the new style one. Really like the look of that. A sort of Final Flash style one, and I think it's meant to be a big bang attack. This one, for some reason, you only get one of the sort of splashing out effects for the yellow, so you have to choose whether to put it on the big bang attack or the Final Flash. I chose Final Flash. It was loose. I glued it. The big bang attack still looks good anyway. But yeah, you also only get one stand with it, even though you get 4 effects. Were they thinking people weren't going to use the rest? Like, I'm certainly going to use them all. Like, I don't get it. On the side, we have a picture of him powering up. On the back, we have some promo shots from the movie. The old Goku and Vegeta. Wouldn't recommend getting them at this point, they're a bit dated. And on this side, just the same image as on the front. So yeah, let's get the box out of here and take a look at the accessories. So, in terms of accessories for the figure itself, I'll do the beam effects right after this, don't worry. So we get a base form head with a stern face and yelling face. We also get the Super Saiyan blue head with a stern face and yelling face. I have panel lined the faces just to give them a tiny bit more detail, just under the eyes, like if there's creases around the mouth, and obviously the stern face mouth itself. I've also done a bit of detail in the ears, so yeah, they're looking a little bit better. I used the brown pore type gunpla markers for that. We also get a pair of fists and a pair of Kamehameha style grippy pose hands, and also this bit which clips onto his back for like Tamashi stages and such, so you do not need a clamp, which is good. Just means this will perpetually stick out his back the minute you plug it in, because I believe it clips in. It doesn't like letting go. So yeah, very nice. The base form hair and the blue hair are the same sculpt, same with the faces. You just put different coloured plastic together to make them. So yeah, let's get the beam effects in here. So in terms of beam effects, first off I will show pretty much the reason I bought it. It's the Kamehameha effect. I like the Final Flash as well, but the minute I seen this came with this one, I had to have it. It's quite nice. It's actually quite involved. You had to put each of these sections on separately as well. They just slot in. And you also pop that bit together. There is a specific point. There's like a hole on one side and a little slot on the other. I probably planning on like gluing it a bit further out so that we get some more of the beam showing, because this is a little bit big like for whatever reason. Yeah, this absolutely trounces the Kamehameha effects that used to come with figurerise when they first appeared. In terms of Kamehameha, we have the charging up effect. Again, this is much better than the original ones we used to get. You can even see the tiny little ball inside. These catch the light really well also. So yeah, really like that. We get the Big Bang Attack Big Bang Attack, a sort of ball. It's really nice. Like I said, you can plug the effect on the Final Flash into the back of this, but you really don't need to. You've got these little fins here that I would assume are meant to be like the energy coming off it. Yeah, looks really nice. I do like it. The yellow tends to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet, I've noticed though. Plus it wasn't liking to stay together. I don't know if that's just because this is an older kit and the clear plastic's going a little bit brittle, etc. But yeah, I ended up gluing the bottom of it just to keep it in place. That hole down the bottom is what you use on the stand. And yeah, really nice. Quite a large effect as well. So I do like that. And finally, we have what they're calling the final flash effect. Again, I have modified this from what they wanted you to do. I have no idea why, but the lightning effects, yeah, they wanted them to come out the back of the sort of splash outfit. Not sure why, but I just took one of my model drill bits and drilled all the way through for the same size, and then plugged them in through the front. I think that looks far better. Looks as if there's more power coming through it. But yeah, I wouldn't call it a final flash. The effect that came with the figurerise standard Krillin, now that I would call a final flash. That looks really good and really bulky. But yeah, this still works really well as a beam effect. There's a lot of detail in it. And yeah, really, really like it. Like I said before, this sort of splash effect, it's supposed to fit in snug, but for some reason mine was loose. Again, I do not know if that's because of the age of the kit and the plastic's just becoming a bit more brittle. But yeah, I just super glued it in place. That is never coming off now. Not that you really need it to, but yeah, really nice effect all the same. I do quite like it. So yeah, one more thing. These stands that come with the figurerise standard, or the original figurerise standard line, yeah, they're totally rotten. They are useless. Like, you swivel this too much, this bit is going to crack and break on you in a matter of like hours. Honestly, it's that bad. So just be very careful with it. It does have sort of like slots and holes to put them in, just to add to the size of the stand. So yeah, they are decent. You just have to be very, very careful with them. So yeah, let's take a look at the figure now. So yeah, in terms of the kit itself, it's decent apart from being far too big. Like, I keep saying that. I might as well do the comparisons now before I forget. But this is the Figuarts Blue Gogeta that came out around the same time. Ignore the white stuff on the belt. I need to wipe that. That's just residue from being stuck in a cabinet for years. Yeah, as you can see, the Figurerise kit towers over him. And that's purely because of how long these legs are. Like, if the legs were smaller, it would be a lot better. But yeah, just something to keep in mind. If you absolutely must have a Blue Gogeta in your collection, and you don't want to buy the bootleg of the Figuarts one, then the Figurerise one you would probably have to have in some sort of action pose in the back of your display, just to stop it looking far too big. But yeah, in terms of details, obviously it's a kit, so any detail in terms of like shading and stuff you will have to do yourself, but you can do it. There is a lot of like really sharp details on like the legs, the socks down the bottom, even the chest and the abs are really good. The upper body is originally Ultra Instinct Goku, which is why his shoulders, for whatever reason, are really massive. I don't know why they did that, and that kind of restricts articulation once we get to that. But yeah, overall it's decent. I have no idea why they done his vest in a hard plastic. Like, it's solid plastic, you cannot move that whatsoever. And yet they used soft rubber on Android 18's skirt. I'm not sure why they couldn't have just given us that here. Yeah, I'm really not sure why they didn't do that. That would have really helped with things, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a 7-year-old kit. What you gotta do? I really love the hair. It's coming across quite dark on the camera. Let's see if I can get it. No, not really. The only way I can describe the hair is it's closer to what Dragon Ball Super's Super Saiyan Blue was, the sort of turquoisey colour, as opposed to what the Broly movie showed, which is a deeper blue, which, like, ironically enough, is what you're seeing on camera. I'm not sure why, but that is not the colour of it in person, unfortunately. But yeah, in terms of details, it is decent. I don't like this belt. Like, it doesn't look like two bits of material at all. It looks just like one bit of material that's sticking out awkwardly. Kind of wish they would have dealt with that a bit better. But yeah, other than that, decent looking. In terms of articulation, the head is actually in a double ball peg, which is really good. So you can look up that much. You can look down a lot as well. Swivel, pivot, hinge, all the rest of it. That's what it's like underneath. Really easy to pop heads on and off. This is the base form head here. So all you do is line up that slot with the head and then pop it on. And just like that, here is base form. So yeah, pull that back off because I much prefer the Super Saiyan Blue. The neck has a hinge forward and back, the lower neck, so you do get a bit more range that way as well. The shoulder pads, it's not on like a ball peg or a proper hinge or anything. It's using friction to sort of keep it in place. So yeah, it does pop into place at the front. If you want to, say for example, use the butterfly joint, which does get really good range, that does pop out of the way. It doesn't look quite right, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. You do get swivel all the way around. Ball joint in there gives you lots of extra range as well. You can pop it in fully for a better look. Arm goes up that far. Bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow. For some reason they didn't go the same route they did with Piccolo. Piccolo you could pop the arm down a bit, but this one you can't, so you get just past 90 and no more. These sort of wrist guards, I had to glue them in place because every time I tried to pop the wrists off, they would come off instead. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. Just a ball peg at the wrist. The ball peg goes into the forearm, unlike the new spec figurerise, which is closer to figure arts. Abs, you can, it's, well, you just seen there, it's a ball peg, so you can pop it up to get slightly more range, but yeah, that's pitiful. There's absolutely no range to that at all, especially if you pop it down. It does have a bit of swivel though. The waist has, well, it is just a ball joint, so you will work it out eventually, but you can use it to get some pivot and swivel out of there, which is decent. Hips are figure arts 1.0 style hips, so you can pull them down, get some more range. Actually really decent range, to be fair. When you pop them up, it's kind of limited because it bumps into itself. They can do the splits if you are careful with how you do it, but it does like to pop off. There we go, splits, like so. There's a thigh rotation in there, built into the joint which you build, to be honest. Single jointed knees, which look like double joint and they work like double joints, really nice. The sculpt is kept throughout, which is much appreciated. You do get a sort of sock swivel, I would call it, but it only really goes 45 degrees. Not sure why they limited that. There was absolutely no need to limit it. Feet are just a sort of peg with a swivel, so that's probably why you get the sock movement there. So it can go down that far, up that far, and you get ankle pivot, which is not great, but it's better than nothing, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, overall, like, it is a decent kit. It can get into some really solid poses. It's just, this guy is one of those figureise kits where you only really want it if you want the effects, like I did, and you can get it at a decent price, which I did, or for whatever reason you collected all of the figurerise, I nearly said figure arts, can you tell? Unless you collected, like, specifically and exclusively the figureise kits instead, which I feel sorry for you if you did, because the line's pretty much dead at this point. But anyway, yeah, if you bought it for that, it would fit in, kind of. It towers over kits like Krillin and the Kid Gohan, or the Teen Gohan, I should say. But yeah, overall, decent enough kit if you can fit it into your display somehow. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Like I said before, I'll try and leave links to this kit on AliExpress or Amazon or anywhere I can find it. And I'll leave links to the bootleg beam effects as well on AliExpress. So yeah, that'll do it for this review, guys. I'll see you all later.